we just broke up this morning. No, I'm outside by tonight. GPS told me turn left, but all the niggas on the right. You know them drug dealers, rappers, scammers, all sound like my type. I ain't gotta go and fuck them, cause my words gon' grip them tight. With my ratchet friends like air night.
Y'all better come up here and get one of these.
What's that?
It's a chicken salad.
From where?
81st Deli.
What's on it?
Superior.
Oh, these fries good. How your salad?
Somebody puts it out on the internet. I see my daughter dead on a Sprinter van on the internet. That's just hard. It was just
Princess Tolliver was an innocent victim killed when investigators say members of a Sanford gang called On Top Forever, or OTF, opened fire on the van she was riding in with friends in January last year.
She was a very outgoing young lady, a very sweet person, lovable person. We are just completely at awe about why something like this would have happened to her.
This is the story of Princess Tolliver, a 31-year-old woman whose life was tragically cut short in a senseless act of violence. Princess was in Sanford, Florida, visiting friends when she found herself caught in the crossfire of a gang-related shooting. Members of a local gang, On Top Forever, opened fire on the van she was in, targeting a rapper involved in a public feud. As the shots rang out that fateful night, Princess was fatally struck, becoming an innocent victim in a dispute that had nothing to do with her. What led to this innocent woman's life being stolen? And how did a night out with friends turn into a deadly encounter that left her family and community reeling? Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Sanford, Florida, a city located in Seminole County, just north of Orlando. Known for its historic downtown, scenic waterfront along Lake Monroe, and vibrant cultural scene, Sanford offers a mix of small-town charm and modern amenities. Despite its picturesque setting, the city, like many others, faces challenges related to crime and gang activity. Princess Tolliver was born on May 22, 1991, in Tallahassee, Florida. Princess was known for her warm heart, infectious smile, and unwavering devotion to her loved ones. She was not only a daughter but also a sister, aunt, granddaughter, cousin, niece, and loyal friend to many. Professionally, Princess worked as a civilian employee at the Florida State University Police Department, where she was valued for her dedication and work ethic. Beyond her job, she was an aspiring entrepreneur who had recently started her own clothing brand, Conquer, based in Tallahassee. Although still in its early stages, Princess was passionate about fashion and hoped to expand her brand, providing custom clothing to a growing audience. Princess was also a well-known social media influencer with a substantial following on Instagram, where she had 13.9k followers. She used her platform to express herself creatively, sharing content that reflected her bold personality and unique sense of style. Despite her busy schedule, Princess always made time for her family and friends, who described her as a nurturing and caring individual. She had an unshakable bond with her nieces and nephews, who lovingly called her Auntie P. She was known for her generosity, always going out of her way to support those she loved. Her favorite color was pink, a reflection of her bright and bubbly personality. Princess enjoyed attending social events, concerts, and gatherings with friends. She had an outgoing nature and was often the life of the party, bringing joy to those around her. Her love for music, fashion, and travel inspired those who followed her journey online and in real life. No one could have predicted that a night meant for enjoyment would take such a tragic turn for Princess Tolliver. She had set out to have a good time, unaware that it would ultimately cost her life. On the night of January 16, 2023, a tragic incident unfolded in Sanford, Florida, claiming the life of Princess Tolliver. Princess had traveled to Sanford to enjoy a night out with friends, attending a concert at the Barn, featuring rapper Jackboy. The night, however, took a horrifying turn when the Sprinter van she and her friends were riding in became the target of a deadly ambush.
Deputies confirming Princess Tolliver died when people in one vehicle started shooting at people in another. West 2's Luana Munoz spoke with Tolliver's family. And Luana, what did they tell you?
You know, Jim, as you can imagine, her family is completely distraught right now. I spoke with her grandmother, who says that Princess's father is not taking this very well. Right now, they're just trying to figure out why this happened and hoping that officers will make an arrest soon.
She was a very outgoing young lady, a very sweet person, lovable person.
That's how Barbara Flynn Tolliver remembers her granddaughter, 31-year-old Princess Tolliver. Seminole County Sheriff's deputies say that the young lady died after a shooting broke out around 2:30 Monday morning on Reinhardt Road and County Road 46A in Sanford. Deputies believe that a vehicle began shooting at another vehicle. One of those is now being processed for evidence. Multiple people were taken to the hospital for treatment.
We are just completely at awe about why something like this would have happened to her.
Tolliver was from Tallahassee and came from a large family that loved her. Her grandmother believes she was in Central Florida visiting for the weekend.
She was a very hard worker, and she would do anything to help her other sisters. She has 3 other sisters, and they were very, very close.
Now family is hopeful someone will come forward with information that'll lead investigators to the person or persons responsible.
Never dreamed anything like this would happen to one of my grandchildren.
Such a beautiful young woman. The Seminole County Sheriff's Office continues their search tonight for any possible suspects. Right now, they do not believe that this shooting was random.
At approximately 2:15 a.m., near the intersection of Reinhardt Road and County Road 46A, members of the Sanford-based gang, On Top Forever, opened fire on the van. Investigators later determined that the shooting stemmed from an ongoing, high-profile feud between rappers Jackboy and Kodak Black. Although Jackboy was believed to be the intended target, he was traveling in a separate vehicle. Instead, the van carrying Princess and her friends was riddled with bullets, leading to her untimely death and injuring 5 others. Dashcam footage captured the immediate aftermath of the shooting, including the traffic stop of one of the suspects shortly after the incident. Law enforcement discovered ammunition in the suspect's vehicle that matched shell casings found at the crime scene. Princess's best friend and one of the survivors of the shooting, Sharina Williams, shared harrowing details about the terrifying moments that claimed the life of her best friend. Sharina described how what started as a joyful night with friends, filled with laughter and dancing in a Sprinter van, quickly turned into a nightmare when gunfire erupted. She recalled hearing a barrage of gunshots that seemed endless. In the chaos, Sharina was shot in the upper arm, but initially didn't realize it. She described feeling something warm under her jean jacket before discovering she had been hit. Meanwhile, their friend Shani Ham, who wasn't present at the scene, woke up to numerous missed calls, sensing something was wrong. She eventually received a heartbreaking call from an unknown person, apologizing for the loss of Princess. Ham described feeling overwhelmed, saying everything went black upon hearing the devastating news. In January 2024, Seminole County Sheriff Dennis Lemma announced that 13 individuals had been arrested in connection with the shooting. The evidence obtained from the scene, combined with surveillance footage and eyewitness accounts, led to the identification and arrest of multiple suspects linked to the OTF gang.
An online feud between rappers Kodak Black and Jackboy is now being blamed for bullets flying in Sanford. Both of these rappers are from the same neighborhood down in South Florida, and the shooting happened after a concert here at the barn last year, and this woman was killed.
Now 13 people are behind bars, and there's still one who's out there on the loose. Fox 35's Stephanie Buffmonte joins us live with that story today. So Stephanie, walk us through the motive here.
So there was a public argument between 2 rappers on social media. Detectives believe a local gang wanted to prove themselves by shooting one of those rappers while they were performing here in Sanford. But ultimately, 6 innocent victims were shot. Now, this photo that's coming up on your screen, this is Princess Tolliver. She was shot and killed in that drive-by shooting. 5 others were hurt. The sheriff says rapper Jackboy had a concert at the barn in Sanford back in January 2023. Jackboy left in an SUV, and a group with him left in a Mercedes Sprinter van, and they were driving behind him on Reinhardt Road when the shots rang out. Sheriff's detectives say members of a local gang, OTF, which is affiliated with the Crips, one of the largest street gangs in the country, thought Jackboy was in the van that those women were in. And that's why deputies say they shot into it with armor-piercing bullets. Now, there was a public feud between Jackboy and rapper Kodak Black. Deputies believe the local gang tried to shoot Jackboy for street validation. The sheriff's office doesn't believe Kodak Black was involved at all and did not pay them to shoot anyone. After months of tireless investigating, 8 suspects were arrested. The other 5 who are facing charges were already in jail. Sheriff Dennis Lima hopes these arrests bring some peace to the community after a very scary and tragic shooting.
This entire case is incredibly frightening to think that we look at nothing more than people coming into Seminole County from out of the area, want to spend time with friends, go to a concert. I mean, things that most people have done. And at 2:20 in the morning to be the victim of a drive-by shooting with 223 armor-piercing rifle rounds is incredibly frightening.
Now, what you're looking on your screen are the mugshots of the 13 people facing charges that we just got from the sheriff's office. There is still one suspect that is still out there that they are looking for. His name is Trayvon Law. He is facing a slew of charges, including first-degree murder. If you have any information that could help this investigation and find him, you can call Crime Line anonymously with a tip.
The arrests came after an extensive year-long investigation involving over 120 search warrants and multiple law enforcement agencies. Despite the success in apprehending suspects, one key individual, 25-year-old Trayvon Law, remains at large and is wanted for first-degree murder. The suspects arrested include 36-year-old Alvarez Cosby, 29-year-old Ravante Daniels, 24-year-old Rick Rhys Davis, 31-year-old Robin Hickman Jr., 36-year-old Cordrius Holy, 22-year-old Thalas Inman Jr., 25-year-old Darling Siplin III, and 23-year-old Jacqueline Watson, 22-year-old Trayvon Whitaker, 24-year-old John Mitchell Wright, and 21-year-old John Williams. Charges against them include first-degree premeditated murder, attempted first-degree premeditated murder, racketeering, RICO, unlawful use of communication devices, and gang-related activities. Princess's father, Edward Tolliver, expressed his relief upon hearing of the arrests, but remained devastated by the loss of his daughter.
Father of the woman who died when she got caught in a Seminole County gang shooting says that he is relieved that police now have 13 people in custody. West 2's Bob Hazen spoke with Princess Tolliver's dad and found out investigators arrested some of those suspects months ago.
13 alleged members of a very violent gang are now here at the Seminole County Jail. One still has not been caught, but we learned that man actually was arrested the day after the shooting, but eventually was released. Princess Tolliver was an innocent victim killed when investigators say members of a Sanford gang called On Top Forever, or OTF, opened fire on the van she was riding in with friends in January last year.
Somebody puts it out on the internet. I see my daughter dead on a Sprinter van on the internet. That's just hard. It was just man.
Tolliver's father, Edward's been waiting for justice, and yesterday, the Seminole County Sheriff announced 13 people are now in jail charged with Princess's murder and racketeering.
I'm glad that those 13, 14 people are off the street and no one else could be harmed by them. They deserve... jails are too good of a place for them.
The sheriff says OTF was possibly trying to build street cred by targeting a rapper, Jackboy, who'd performed that night in Sanford. He'd been in a feud with well-known rapper Kodak Black, and the sheriff says there's no evidence yet directly linking Kodak to the crime. Investigators are also still trying to catch one man, 25-year-old Trayvon Law. Court records show that on the day after Tolliver was killed, Orange County deputies actually arrested Law in an SUV that Seminole County was looking for. The records show Law was questioned by Seminole County detectives, but only charged for having marijuana, and eventually that case was dropped. Another alleged gang member, Jamichael Wright, was arrested in May for a 2022 deadly shooting on the 408, but in December, the state attorney's office dropped that case, citing a lack of evidence. Now the suspects are being held with no bond. Tolliver believes more people involved in the feud should also be arrested.
And now my daughter's dead because of this stupid gun activity and the racketeering, the selling of drugs and so on and so forth. She was just here having a good time and now she's dead.
He recalled the heartbreak of seeing his daughter's lifeless body shared on social media, further exacerbating the family's pain. The community of Tallahassee, along with Princess's friends and family, gathered shortly after the tragedy to hold a vigil and balloon release in her honor. Many remembered her as a vibrant, loving individual who was cherished as a daughter, sister, aunt, and friend. Her obituary, published days after her passing, highlighted her loving nature and unwavering faith. The court proceedings following the arrests saw the suspects being held without bond as prosecutors built their case. The Seminole County grand jury handed down 12 indictments for first-degree premeditated murder and attempted murder in March 2024. Additional charges, including RICO violations, indicate that the suspects were part of an organized criminal enterprise that engaged in drug trafficking and violent crimes to gain notoriety. The case is ongoing, with trial dates expected to be set later in 2025. Prosecutors are seeking the maximum penalties for those involved, with some facing potential life sentences without parole. Meanwhile, law enforcement continues its efforts to locate and apprehend Trayvon Law. Sheriff Lemma assured the public that these arrests marked a significant step toward curbing gang violence in the region. "These arrests do not bring Princess back," he said during a press conference, "but they do ensure that those responsible are held accountable, and our community is safer as a result." Princess's family, while grateful for the justice being served, continues to advocate for stronger measures against gang violence. They have expressed hope that her death will serve as a wake-up call to address the underlying issues fueling such crimes and prevent future tragedies from occurring. In the aftermath of the tragic loss of Princess, her family and friends gathered on January 23, 2023, in Tallahassee, Florida, to honor her memory with a vigil and balloon release. Attendees released pink balloons, her favorite color, into the sky as a tribute to the vibrant life she lived and the love she shared with those around her. The event served as a touching remembrance of the 31-year-old Tallahassee native, who was known for her infectious positivity and dedication to her loved ones. Her best friend, Sharina Williams, expressed hope that Tolliver would be remembered as the best auntie and sister in the world. The vigil provided solace to many who cherished Princess, reflecting on her legacy and the profound impact she had on her community. What happened to Princess Tolliver was a senseless tragedy that could have been prevented. She was simply enjoying a night out with friends when she became the unintended victim of gang violence. It's truly heartbreaking and beyond comprehension how some individuals can act with such reckless disregard for human life. No one should ever have to fear for their life simply for stepping out with friends to enjoy themselves. Princess, like so many others, had every right to laugh, make memories, and dream of her future without the threat of violence lurking around the corner. Her life, her potential, and her light were taken in a moment of senseless recklessness, and that is an injustice that should never be normalized. My condolences to her friends and family. May you continue to heal and one day find peace. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.